Life is full of hazards, from a wreck on the interstate to a fire at your home, and that's why we all have insurance. But when you need them the most, after a serious injury, you may see a side of the insurance industry you never knew about. So has an adjuster encouraged you to sign a quick settlement for your injuries or damage? Has your legitimate claim been delayed or denied? So what should you do if this has happened? If you're tired of fighting the insurance company, personal injury attorney Rocky Wilkins from Morgan & Morgan is here to help. So we all want to know, what should we do?
Well, I think you need to call an attorney, and I think you need to, make sure that you get all your ducks in a row as far as your documents. If you're at the scene of a wreck, you certainly want to, after you make sure everybody's safe, take pictures of the scene of the damage and get the witness's name. It's the most important thing, because you don't want to pop up weeks or months later and not have the crucial eyewitness and you can't find him.
Yeah, we definitely don't want that.
I've had it happen. It's a bad situation.
Well, a lot of people have questions.
Okay.
We always have questions for you. You have an email. This is from Glenda, and she says, several months back, I was hit in the driver's side door by a woman that was not paying attention and ran through a red light. I still have pain and discomfort, but after 2 MRIs, nothing shows up. Her insurance company has asked to see my medical records. Should I allow it? I would like to settle and move on.
Well, normally we would order the medical records. It's not unheard of for an insurance company in a straightforward case where it looks like their insured is at fault because they ran a red light. It just depends on the situation and maybe the magnitude of the injury. She did mention that there was nothing on the MRI, and the MRI is an important tool, and it's usually the gold standard, but it's not foolproof. And sometimes you can have injuries that don't show up on an MRI, and what it's going to come down to is what you were like before and what you were like after. And if you have several witnesses and you don't have a history of prior problems, say in your neck, and then suddenly you have pain in your neck, usually most doctors will relate that to your collision.
Okay. Well, a lot of people have a lot more questions because,
Yeah.
this is a very big topic when we're
Yeah.
talking about it. But we have a phone call. Now it looks like Stan is calling in, so let's see what his question is.
My daughter was involved in a wreck on school property, and we've been round and round with the other driver's insurance company. They basically said, oh, well, we're going to help you out in the beginning, and then they turned around and the other driver changed the story like, oh, well, it was really her fault. We've submitted pictures to them and tried to go through the whole process, so basically just not hearing back from the other insurance company. What are we supposed to do, and how long before we need to have this totally settled?
In there.
Yeah, so this happens a lot. I mean, people at the scene are apologetic and say, just contact my insurance company, they'll take care of it, and then everything kind of goes haywire after that. What they're going to have to do is get an attorney and probably file a lawsuit, because after 30, 60 days, I think that's a reasonable amount of time for an insurance company to evaluate a claim, to pay what's owed, or to say we're not going to pay what's owed, or deny the claim altogether. And once that happens, then your lawyer needs to probably just file suit down at the Hinds County Courthouse or wherever this happened. And that will start some time periods. They have 30 days to respond. There's a time period for discovery, which is written exchange of documents and depositions. And then the most important thing you can do is get a trial date, because that's where the rubber meets the road. That's the line in the sand, and that's where either you're going to win or they're going to win, but something's going to happen. And so you're going to have to file suit in this situation.
All right, well, there's the answer for that one. And we are getting several questions from people asking the same thing. If they get a check from an insurance company, can they go ahead and cash it? What do they do?
Well, it depends on what kind of check it is. The insurance companies are pretty good about keeping the property damage separate than the bodily injury, but I still get calls from clients that say, well, they totaled out my Subaru and gave me $8,000, can I sign it? I'm like, you're a good client for checking with me first, but yes, you can. What you got to be careful if you're dealing with an individual or somebody that's not being upfront with you is they could put full and final release down in that check and try to sneak it by you that they're including your bodily injuries. But I got to give the insurance companies credit on this one. They usually don't do that.
Okay, somebody needs to check for that key
Definitely
word right there.
check, yes.
And maybe contact you.
Go ahead and call me. I'll be happy to look at it.
Well, since you mentioned calling, you go ahead and tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Well, my number is 601-503-1654, and my email is rocky@forthepeople.com, and you can reach out to me anytime.
All right, thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.